Commissioners Court of Brazos County will meet in regular session on March the 10th, 2026 at 10 a.m. in the Commissioners Courtroom in the Brazos County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106. First item on the agenda is invocation, pledge of allegiance of the U.S. and Texas flag. Commissioner Walker will lead us.
Heavenly Father, we come together in your name, grateful for the opportunity to gather in unity. We thank you for the blessings of the day. I would ask that we pray for those who've lost their lives in the Middle East and that we give healing grace to their families. We also pray that our leaders make good decisions for a transforming peace. We humbly ask for your guidance and wisdom as we, the commissioners, discuss matters at hand. Grant us the clarity of thought and the compassion of heart to make decisions that honor you and benefit all. May your presence be felt among us throughout this meeting, guiding our words and our actions. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you, Commissioner. Second item on the agenda is call for citizens' input and our concerns, and we've got three that wanted to speak. Chris Barnes. Number one.
Was not expecting to be first. Good morning, Commissioners and Judge. My name's Chris Barnes. I live in Precinct 2.
What's your name?
Chris Barnes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It has been a while, hasn't it? I'm here to talk about three different issues, and I believe y'all have printed copies of everything. None of these are controversial, and none of them are to ask the county to spend any money. So that should make everybody happy. Issue number one is something I spoke about last year. It's honeybees becoming active in the spring. So this is simply a reminder about what I talked about last year. With spring and warmer temperatures, more daylight, honeybees become more active. I would like to repeat my request from last year to have you remind the various departments in the county, especially EMS and those who work outside, that if they run across a swarm or a colony of bees, to please do not spray them and kill them. Instead, contact a beekeeper to have them safely removed. I'm providing my phone number, it's my cell number, as a contact if there are any questions. I do not charge to come to any location in Brazos County to evaluate a situation. And if I can't remove them, I will provide contact information for somebody who can. That's issue number one. Issue number two is in regards to the expansion of Highway 6, specifically the reduced speed limits on both the main road and the service feeder roads. I'm sure we all agree that having drivers reduce their speed in these areas is necessary. And I do support the use of increased police patrols to help that. My request is that we also use what is called speed display signs, speed awareness signs, or speed indicator devices. These are unmanned signs that use radar to show drivers their speed. These have a marked effect on helping people slow down. The good news is that TxDOT should already have a bunch of these in inventory, and portable ones should be something that can be done at no cost. At least I would think so. I believe we just need to have somebody in the county contact TxDOT and request them. That's pretty much it right there. Issue number three is also about a traffic issue. This one's a little bit more complicated. Specifically, it's the bridge that goes over Highway 6 at the MLK Old Reliance Road intersection. If you're on the northbound side feeder road, there's a turnaround that allows people to get around and head south quicker. The issue is that there's a barrier wall between the turnaround and the traffic heading east from Old Reliance Road, from MLK to Old Reliance Road. That barrier is tall and such that it blocks the vision of traffic for people that are on the service road turning onto Old Reliance Road, so you can't see a vehicle until it's right on you in the intersection. This is true even if you're driving a pickup and the oncoming car is a pickup. It's especially bad if you're in a normal sized car. My request is that not to have the bridge redone right now. but I believe that that bridge is going to have to be redone when Highway 6 expansion gets to it. So when that bridge is redone, have the engineers simply look at that issue and lower that wall, that separating wall, so it doesn't obstruct vision of people that are on the service road. It actually obstructs the vision of people on the bridge too. You can't see people on the service road. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, Chris. Christine Schimbick.
Good morning, Christine Schimmick, Precinct 2. I just wanted to, the first thing I wanted to start with is to finish some comments from last time when I talked on agenda item number 31 about the College Main and University road projects. Let's see. So there's 4 parties, just to remind you, there's 4 parties involved. That's A&M, Bryan, College Station, and Brazos County. There's a hold harmless clause applied without waiving governmental immunity, such that one party can absolve the other 3 based on location. For example, College Station absolves Bryan, A&M, and Brazos County of all liability for an incident occurring in College Station. This application of the clause raises many questions, leaving Bryan, College Station, Brazos County, and even A&M vulnerable to litigation without any real protection to the parties or the taxpayers. The first sentence of that clause indicates and acknowledges that this may be unconstitutional on its face as it's written. The second thing is, catch my breath. Voting in the primaries is completed. Runoffs are next. Questioning the nature of individuals registered to vote is not a partisan issue and is especially concerning if deceased individuals remain on the voter rolls. Concerned citizens have voluntarily submitted voter roll FOIA requests, observed and reviewed the FOIA data, drawn inferences, and asked questions in open court. This action has resulted in a media smear that includes phrases like unrelenting scrutiny and right-wing skeptics. Essentially, the burden of proof is placed on the people rather than on the state. Concerned citizens are simply asking that the state accept burden of proof with regard to the voter rolls. Is it not a function of this court to hear citizen concerns and to address those concerns with substantiated evidence-based claims, or to provide rebuttal with substantiated evidence-based claims? This could be easily resolved if this court were to, 1, schedule a workshop to address citizen concerns, or 2, provide a discussion topic on the regular meeting court agenda so that concerned citizens may hold open communications with election officials to publicly set the record straight. Again, this is just asking for an opportunity to explore the evidence rather than to accept claims as made without substantiation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kathy Deans.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Kathy Vians, Precinct 4. I want to start by saying I was wrong last session regarding the hey, I will always admit when I'm wrong. It's the best way to go. I was wrong. The deed did not say that we would get free parking for the employees and jurors, but I did go back to the conversation that we had at that time, and Judge, you had indicated that the free parking was the impetus for the county participating in that agreement. So hopefully those things are memorialized legally next time around. The other issue that I wanted to talk about was the letter that I emailed to all of you regarding the data centers. It's a really important topic to me, and I know it's of vital importance to most of the county residents. I'm asking for a workshop or a town hall on the topic of data centers even before they come to the court asking for an abatement. Judge, you spearheaded the landfill issue before it came to the court to be handled. So I know that this court likes to be proactive on certain issues, and I don't think there's anything more important right now than data centers coming into the county, and so I'm asking that you be proactive on that topic. And some of the questions that I would like to see answered if an abatement application is put to this court are the size of the building, the cooling system, the demands on BTU. I know that BTU has said they don't have enough power to accommodate a data center. But if they're used as a backup, that's still a concern, because how long would a backup system need to be providing power to that data center? So that's also important. I would like to know what the source of the employees would be. Are they going to be homegrown from our county and A&M, or would they be coming from an international source of employment? So these are really big questions, the environmental impact. And I don't know why an impact study was never asked for the abatement application that was put in. So I would ask that, especially since it does affect the environment, I would ask that an impact study be done on any tax abatement application coming from a data center. So my ask today is for a town hall or workshop on the topic of data centers, so that the county citizens know what might happen and where we might have opportunity for input. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That was the last on citizen input. Next is presentation and discussions. Presentation of a joint proclamation proclaiming March the 10th, 2026 as Pamela Robertson Day in recognition to her outstanding service to our veterans and to Brazos County. Pam, you want to come up? I'm going to read the proclamation. Okay. Where do you want? Yeah, and we'll take pictures and all once I get through the proclamation. Whereas Pamela Robertson, a native of Texas, a native Texan and Magnolia High School graduate, served the U.S. Army at Fort Carson, Colorado, Solocano and Air Force Base, and Honduras. After earning her pharmacy technician license, she managed payroll at Tomball Regional Hospital before moving to Iola, Texas. As a veteran service officer for American Legion Post 159 in Bryan, Texas, Pamela proved her dedication. In 2018, she resumed administration leadership, managing 2 primary care clinics with a focus on teamwork and excellence. And whereas Brazos Valley has nearly 10,000 veterans, but no military facility, in 2023, Pamela was chosen as Brazos County Veterans Service Officer to serve these veterans and their families accredited by the Texas Veterans Commission. Whereas Pamela served over $7 million in retroactive payments and $2.3 million in monthly benefits for Brazos County veterans. She partnered with Texas A&M University to establish a VSO presence at Texas A&M Veterans Resource and Support Center, enhancing resources for student veterans. And whereas Pamela is a dedicated advocate for veterans, she supports organizations like Coalition for Brazos Valley Veterans Organizations, Women Veterans of Texas, and Wreaths Across the Valley, WAABV. She worked with WAA, Brazos Transit District, BVCIL, and volunteers to secure 2 ADA compliant vans, providing free medical transportation for veterans and their spouses. And whereas Pamela attended the National Association of County Veterans Service Officers Leadership Summit in Washington, D.C. on April of 2025, she met with Senator John Cornyn, VA Secretary Doug Collins, and others to discuss local efforts for the National Cemetery Inspired option using VA-provided items. Due to her coordination with WAABV, follow-up meetings were held with VA Secretary Doug Collins and former Senator Elizabeth Dole in May and December of 2025. And whereas Pamela has significantly empowered veterans and facilitated change in Brazos County, consequently, she has accepted a role as the Veteran Service Officer for Pitkin County, Colorado, allowing her and her husband Dane to be near their family. Now therefore, we, Dwayne Peters, Brazos County Judge, Bob Gutierrez, Mayor, City of Bryan, John Nichols, Mayor of City of College Station, do hereby recognize the day, March the 10th, 2026, as Pamela Robinson Day.
It's been a privilege to serve the veterans here in this county. And even though this recognition carries my name, it really belongs to our veterans and our community and everyone that supports them. And I'd just like to ask everyone to pray for our troops right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pam, let me just say that it has been a pleasure to know you. You have been a transformative person in the arena of serving our veterans. Your heart, your passion has just you have made such a difference in how the county serves the veterans. I understand why you're being whisked away from us, because you have made such an impact. Whenever I go anywhere where there are veterans and it comes up about the veteran service officers, the veterans hold you in such high esteem, a recognition that is well deserved. And I thank you so much for what you've done for Brazos County. Like I said, I'm sorry to see you go, but Godspeed and stay in touch.
I will. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
You're so welcome.
I'm gonna miss you.
Pam.
I want to congratulate you and Dane, being able to get closer to the kids and getting up to Colorado. We have 4 seasons and the whole thing. But you came into this position where during a tumultuous time, there's a lot of people concerned, and you I think elevated the position and what's
Yes.
expected of that position to a height that it hasn't been at before. No disrespect to anyone that was there before, but you took it and
Yes.
added a level to it that both with success and helping the veterans, your dedication, your team. I know getting Kale up to speed, all of it. I don't know if everyone even understands what a VSO does, but we do, and we're very grateful and that you've been able to help the veterans and their families in this community. And wish you the very best of luck in Colorado. And keep your phone on in case Brazos County has any questions.
Will do.
Pam, it's your personality that just warms everybody when they walk in the door. The first time they meet you, they feel at ease and they know that you're going to take care of business. And you've been an inspiration to so many people
Yes.
over the time that you've been here, and we will greatly miss you. Thank you for your service.
Commissioners. Thank you so much, Commissioners.
We're truly wishing you all the best.
Thank you. I'll send pictures.
Take it.
Well, like I said, it's been a privilege serving the veterans here, and I've learned and grown so much, just as much as I think the county did, knowing what this department is capable of. So I appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to do this. It means more than I can even put into words. Thank
Well,
you so much.
You made it, you did well. I mean, you just took it and elevated it in a way that pretty much put us on the map, and that's why now Colorado is calling.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam.
Yeah. And I know I see Kyle Cassell sitting back there. He's probably dying to say some of these things we're saying, so I just say copy and paste from him as well. And the time that he was here, getting to see you work, he's a huge fan.
Thank you.
No clue.
Get up to the mic,
Go to the mic.
I
Donald.
had no clue of what I needed or anything. I walked into this lady, and as you said, she made it so much easier and guided me through. That's a lie. She did it all. She did it all. She didn't guide me through. She did it all. She helped me so much, and I know what little she helped me, magnified times 10 for what she did for everyone else. Thank you, ma'am. So very, very much.
I'm gonna miss you.
Gonna miss you. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and getting people out of my office. He removed a few of them for us. They weren't veterans, though. So thank you so much.
So let's take some pictures. Dave, we certainly want you,
Going downstairs.
we
We're gonna go-
veterans,
let's go down.
her family, her mom and dad. Yeah.
Are we gonna go down? Yeah, I think we should go down.
Yeah.
I think that you're such a gentleman.
Do you have the frame? This is what you need.
There you go. Thank you, Ellen.
What would we do without Ellen?
You gotta be going. OCD wouldn't let it stop, would it?
There we go. Thank you all so much.
How about one with the judge and Pam?
Yeah. It's like Christmas. Thank you, Judge. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Pam.
I will add to what already has been said. When we brought Pam in as VSO, I had no idea how good she was gonna be.
No.
And she has done an excellent job. So again, thank you, Pam.
Thank you.
Okay,
Great woman.
so we will consider and take action on agenda items 4 through 28. Number 4 is approval requested to accept textbooks and teaching materials donated by Texas Educational Agency for the use by youth and staff at Brazos County Juvenile Justice Alternative Educational Program.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 5 is approval for acceptance of donated unclaimed property items left by inmates leaving Brazos County Detention Center for the month of July 2025.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 6 is approval requested from Sheriff's Office to apply for the U.S. Department of Justice Office for Victims FY 2025 Enhanced Collaborative Model Task Force to Combat Human Trafficking Grant.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 7 is approval requested for early voting locations for May the 26th, 2026 primary elections.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded.
Trudy's here.
Judge. Trudy's.
There, okay,
She
come
did
on.
walk up awfully quiet.
We do have one decision to make on that. We normally, in a runoff, don't use MSC. The students have all left campus by the time the runoff comes around. And so we usually move to this College Station City Hall. The City Hall has asked if we would consider moving to the Bob and Wanda Myers Community Center instead of the City Hall for early voting. And so I told her I would have to bring that to the court for your decision.
Forgive me, where's the location of that? Is that
It's
the-
on Dartmouth. It's close to Wolf Pen.
My concern on that is that people that work on campus, we saw that a few years ago, really blew up. It'd really be
Right.
nice to have it right there across the street from campus.
And, they're a public building, so if that's your decision, then.
It is mine,
Then
yeah.
they would abide by that.
The only concern I have about the College Station location, the administration for that's location is parking is so horrible during election day because, it's filled with staff parking, and even when you do curbside voting, I've recognized the difficulty of even though they designate some spots, it's unfortunate that the suggested location is close to Wolf Creek Park, even because they have good parking, but
They do have good parking,
They
but
have great parking.
it's a little out of the way.
it is
so.
out of the way. Is there no other location in the general vicinity?
No, ma'am,
A
not,
church?
not for the week. It's for early voting, so not for the week.
The chicken turned us down.
You said what now?
The chicken turned us down.
Trudy, I don't understand why we're not using MSC. We still have faculty and staff that use that voting location, and they're still there, even though most of the students are gone.
That is completely up to the court, but I know for the last two runoffs, we did not use MSC.
Well, I'm
We used
totally
the
in
City
favor
Hall,
of
so.
us keeping that location.
Keeping the College Station administration,
No, MSC.
yeah.
MSC. It just makes it too easy for faculty and staff to be able to vote. So,
And isn't there maybe even more problem parking out there for voters at the
At
MSC?
A&M?
At MSC, voters have to park across the street in the parking garage. They do allow us 3 parking spots. In the past, it's been a problem on the weekends, because if it's game weekend, they kick us out of the parking lot, but for the runoff, it's only Monday to Friday. So, yes, it is parking across the street in the parking garage, but
Is that a problem for when you're having to take the polling?
for curbside,
Yeah,
curbside is, yes, is a huge problem on campus. The
'Cause there is
only,
no curve.
there is no curb. The only spot they have is the chancellor spot. They tell us that we can use that and we mark it as curbside, but if he's there, he parks there. So we really don't have a curbside spot at MSC, which by law we're required to have, so.
okay. We need to make a decision this morning about where.
Yes, because
Okay.
next week we start programming, so.
Yeah, my concern, even, and I hear you too, Commissioner Brown, the, having seen this play out, I guess it was 2021, that the MSC numbers are not very high for runoff, that the lack of curbside, predictable, reliable curbside, and the fact that City Hall is right there, it's not ideal for parking, but certainly better than MSC is.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I would like to approve the early voting locations to include City Hall. I worry that Dartmouth, I worry one changing from MSC or City Hall might confuse people. They're used to going where they're going, but also I worry that Dartmouth might be a little bit too far, so,
Voters are creatures of habit.
yes.
Yes.
yes, but I want to reiterate, faculty and staff that's on campus, it's so easy for them just to go to MSC and vote. Whether they don't have to pull up into a parking space because they're already working there. They have their designated parking spaces. So we
That's right.
take that away from them, then they have to go and find another place to go vote. So I'm totally in favor of leaving MSC open.
Okay, so I guess I'd like to make a motion to approve the requested early voting locations for the May 26, 2026 primary elections to include College Station City Hall.
I'll second that.
So the motion was to move it to City Hall? Okay.
Okay, further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
One opposed. But motion carries.
Thank you,
City
sir.
Hall. Okay, thank you, Trudy. We'll move on to number 8, approval request from Human Resources to write off outstanding account receivables in the amount of $142.76. This amount is believed to be uncollectible.
Move for approval?
Second?
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 9 is authorization of the county judge to sign an extension of the tolling agreement originally approved and executed in Commissioners Court on January the 23rd, 2024.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. And I mean, this is just, this has nothing to do with toll roads. As we said before when we extended it, it's an agreement between the county and the contractor that was doing work out at Juvenile, that we're not gonna be, we'll extend that time limit of when a suit could be filed. We don't want a suit filed where everything seems to be going well. We're negotiating, going through it, but we don't want to have somebody have to file a suit to protect their own ability to make sure that decisions that are made, we don't want to have that done in court. So that's what this tolling agreement would do. Would allow both of us to continue to work to get that done out there, the work done out there. So we got a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 10 is approval of authorization for the county judge to sign the hold harmless and indemnification agreement with City of Bryan as required by the special use permit in support of the Brazos County Courthouse Annex Building Project.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. And we've got one that wants to speak, Christine Shimmy.
Christine Schimick. This one's going to be short and actually rather pleasant. I'm genuinely just seeking truth and asking difficult questions. So the county building, the structures are on the Exhibit A that was posted, and there's the hold harmless clause for the City of Bryan. The county is clearly indicating that this is a county project with county money funding it. Since Bryan is not paying for the structures and the city has not signed a contract to contribute to these structures, to my knowledge, this is a reasonable use of this clause. The only question remains between the new building and the church sanctuary remodeling, there's an additional 120,000 square feet. For reference, the courthouse is 30,000 square feet. What are we going to do with all that space? That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, so that's really not, this agenda item is to sign a hold harmless indemnification. It really doesn't, your question doesn't have anything to do with what this agenda item is. The agenda item is to approve the hold harmless. Did you have a question about the hold harmless? Okay. All right, so we've got, do we get a motion in a second?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 11 is approval of the arts renewal for 1095C through Texas Association of Counties.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 12 is approval of proposal 26-090 from the awarded broker Alliance Insurance Services, Inc. with the following providers, and we need to pull number C. So my request would be a motion and a second on A, B, and D.
Move for approval A, B, and D.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 13 is request from Forensic Services Administration for the following personnel changes with effective date of March 10th, 2026. This change will increase the Forensic Services Administration budget in the amount of $192,139.
Judge, I move that we table this item.
Why?
Why? Oh, let me tell you why. Okay. Last year, Brazos County sent 10.75 decedents to Travis County every month. at a cost of $4,085 plus external examination fees on each decedent. The thing that I question is the fact that here we want to add 2 investigators, and we have no idea how many decedents are going to be sent to our medical examiner's office. We have no agreements with any of the surrounding counties, yet we're adding a lot of cost up front, having no idea what's going to happen in the future. So that's the reason that I asked to have this tabled. I think I can agree that we need to have perhaps one investigator starting off, but 2 investigators I think is overkill at this point.
So, I hear you, and our Dr. Chen is not planning to hire both those investigators right off the bat. It's just putting those positions in place, so as it grows, the positions will be there. And certainly we can't have contracts with the outside counties until we're actually open and operating, and then we can reach out to those counties to see if they will end up contracting with us. And I think they'll certainly, the county judges around that I've talked to are certainly interested, but they can't sign an agreement until we're actually in business over there. So it'll take a little while to get actually in operation once we go, but having the positions there, not filling those positions yet. I mean, the one certainly, as we open up, they'll have to have 1 investigator, but that doesn't mean they have to have 2 right off the bat. That's just putting those in place.
But my question is, on this second investigator, will that come back to us to vote? Or is this just going to automatically happen because at some point the powers to be say we need 2 investigators?
I mean, I don't think it would necessarily come. Benita, you want to?
Nina Payne, Budget Officer. Commissioners Court has approved these 2 positions to be active this fiscal year. What this amendment is doing is to put funding to these positions so they can be hired. So we're not creating new positions. They have already been created as of October 1. Commissioners Court has approved that during the adoption of the budget. Does that answer that question?
So it becomes effective October 1,
This year.
both, for both positions.
It was presented to Commissioners Court August, I believe.
So we don't have the option to come back and say, at this time, we don't need a second investigator. Is that correct?
Yes. We always have to approve of positions,
Well, she's asking for both positions to be approved today.
but in
So-
terms of actual hiring, we have to approve it.
She's asking for funding of positions
Funding,
already
yeah.
approved.
She's asking
in the
for
budget.
funding. She's only asking for funding for this position, so when they're ready to hit the ground rolling, they're already filled. But again, this was presented to Commissioners Court August 13th, 2025, agenda item number 8, creating these positions, and it was approved during October 1 for adoption of the budget. What is on the agenda today is to give funding to it. When I created the positions, I put 0 funding to those positions, not knowing how much it really costs for those positions to be hired. We left that up to Commissioners Court to make that decision, and I believe it was discussed in executive session during last Commissioners Court. And so this is the action that was taken, and so this is why it's on the agenda today.
And then, let me ask one more question. This facility is not going to be ready till what, the end of July, probably now?
I can give you the opening date.
And then it may take a month to get the punch list all done.
That part,
So is there any reason why we wouldn't push this into our next budget year?
I believe the opening date is, when do we, or when,
thought we said
the
June.
discussion?
Expecting certificate
Thought it was-
occupancy, I think in June.
Okay.
But then the punch list will probably take 30, 60 days, maybe more than that, so.
Yeah.
But I couldn't tell you if the positions need to be filled during that time. What I will do is, even though it's an estimated $192,000 to be added to that budget, I will not move the money, and I will prorate it when those positions are hired. But we,
Exactly.
and so that's just an estimated cost based on today.
But isn't it also a matter of whenever we need to hire a new position, but we don't have it in the budget, then we have to do a special create a special position under the judge. Whereas if we already have these positions on the books, as the need occurs, then we already have the position already listed as the position under, in this case, the medical examiner's office. So it's already designated with funding without having to create a special position till the next budget cycle. Am I
Correct.
understanding this
Based on
wrong?
the statute, we're not able to create positions mid-year unless it's based on an emergency. In other words, grant, or a statute comes out saying we have to create a position. We're not allowed to create positions mid-year, so that's why these positions were created to start to be effective October 1 with zero funding until we were really ready to go. The only action that is taken today, if taken, is to put an hourly rate to these positions so they can start interviewing when it gets closer to the time of opening. It doesn't mean that they're going to go ahead and get filled tomorrow, but it's going to be closer to the date.
But Nina, let me ask you one more time.
Yes, sir.
Clarify this for me. On this second position, I'm in favor of one position. But on the second position, will that come before us to hire that person?
Possibly.
Or is it just automatically done because we've approved the money for it?
So you have to approve the personal action forms. But I want to let Dr. Jen explain it, why we have to have 2 investigators when we open.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi,
So
Doc.
I understand your concerns about having, starting off with 1 investigator. But bear in mind,
Speak into
imagine.
the mic a little bit more.
Oh, sure. Bear in mind, if I was running an ambulance service and I only had 1 driver, I'm then expecting that driver to be on call 24 hours a day to do everything that we need to be done. Similar can be said for the investigator. If I start off with 1, they'll be working in the daytime, but then we will all be taking turns covering night call. Now, I know one perk about me previously working in Travis County is that I understand how many cases were sent here from Brazos County in the last year. It was about 160. But I also know what cases were not being sent to Travis County, which includes many types of death that would be under my jurisdiction, things like hip fractures. Probably not all the motor vehicle accidents are being sent over for an examination. And so there's more than 160 deaths that will be investigated here in Brazos County. From the numbers I've extrapolated, it's probably closer to somewhere between 250 to 300 cases. Not all requiring a full autopsy or just an external examination or just a review of medical records, but it's a lot of work with the aid of an investigator. They will be helping me request medical records, going to scenes, day and night. And that's why we requested to start 2 positions. But I will be honest, in the long run, when we are fully up to speed, I would like 4.
Well, let me ask you this question, because with the 160 decedents that we sent to Travis County last year, if there was anything questionable or anything that might be on Nightline, it was a local sheriff's department or police departments that investigated it. So I don't understand what the difference is between our sheriff's department and police departments investigating it and then having special investigators that we're paying for through your department. So would you explain that to me?
Sure. For a medical examiner system, we are, between us and the law enforcement and our department, we run 2 separate investigations that need to be independent. A medical examiner focuses on the decedent, the body, and everything around it, versus the law enforcement department is focusing on the potential crime surrounding it. We run independently so that basically to help decrease conflict of interest. So like if someone accuses of the law enforcement of not completing an investigation, we also have our own investigation going on, which is also important. We are also there for the decedents of this county. We're helping the families, making certain that the dead are cared for.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I had a motion, I think, to table. I didn't hear a second.
I'll remove my motion.
Okay.
How's that?
Motion to approve 13 A, B, and C.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve A, B, and C. Discussion.
Well, the goal of this thing is to provide a service to Brazos County citizens first, but secondly, though we can't possibly get a letter of intent on a building that has yet to be completed or staff that's fully staffed from other counties, we can't possibly get an agreement. I know from what Judge Peters has told me, what Kyle Cassell told me, that we have judges from other counties very anxious to see this thing completed and open. So I think starting with 2 investigators is going to be ideal. Funding the possibility of having 2 investigators that with positions were already approved in the budget, but funding them today is going to be hopefully very needed. Hopefully we have the counties around us, and I say hopefully, I'm not trying to take a gamble here. I know that we're going to be a busy center with 200 to 300 cases. Dr. Dirksen already proposes she'll be seeing here. Imagine then the surrounding counties coming in. I think it's going to be a busy center and provide a great service first to Brazos County, and then for those other counties who will pay to be a part of that service. So for that reason, I'm in favor of approving the 2 death investigators that were questioned today, as well as the 3rd position.
Chuck, I partially agree with you. What I don't agree with is I think that we should go into it slowly and add as we need it, and not just add before we even get the doors open.
No, I think
So,
you and I then,
yeah.
Commissioner Brown, I think we do agree, because this allows her to do it without waiting for the next fiscal year. It doesn't mean that she's gonna, necessarily do it tomorrow.
Well, waiting for the next fiscal year has never caused us a problem in coming up with the money to do anything that the county needed to have done.
Yeah.
So,
Right, but it's a matter of getting it into the budget, because we always have to create special positions because we're out of budget cycle, because we can't, so she's not saying she's gonna hire 2 right away. She would like to, but it doesn't mean she's gonna hire them tomorrow. She's also got to find them and encourage them to come to Brazos County. I mean, it's not like we have investigators sitting out in the hall waiting to be hired. It's going to take, it's a process. Just like us building the building, as she's ramping up the office, probably June 1st, she would like to hope to have at least 1, but she won't immediately have 2 unless it's very appealing to come to Aggie Land, and that may be. But it's still going to be a process, just like building the building. How she staffs up and ramps up is not immediate, so we may not even have a person on board even for the October budget.
we may have people in the crying room right now that want to apply for the
I
job.
don't
We
think so.
know.
I don't see a single face that looks like they're hankering to do that. So, no.
Well, I respect certainly the input and concerns here at the board. I have my motion because I believe that putting the money in those positions right now gives Dr. Dirksen and her team the ability to fire this thing up and get it running on all cylinders, which is exactly what I hope happens. I don't want it to be a slow startup.
No,
I want it to
I agree.
be a service to Brazos County that virtually almost pays for itself. I don't know that it's gonna pay for itself, but I do want us to be able to have that flexibility and get it up and running, pay the people, get them here recruited, get them working.
Okay. I know I got a motion. Did we get a second?
Yes, I
Okay,
second.
we got a motion and a second to approve. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
1 opposed, motion carries. Number 14 is consider and take action on Comcast utility permit to a directional bore conduit and construct road bores under the following county roads, sites located in precinct 1.
Move for approval A through E.
Second.
Motion made, seconded to approve A through E. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 15 is consider and take action on Comcast utility permit to directional bore to conduit to construct road bores under the following county roads located within Saddle Creek subdivision, sites located in precinct 1.
Move for approval A through H.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 16 is consider and take action on Comcast utility permit to directional bore conduit and construct road bores under the following county roads, sites located in precinct 1.
Move for approval A through F.
Second.
Motion made, seconded,
May I have a
discussion.
comment? So it has come to my attention regarding Comcast doing this in the residential areas within the city limits, that they have not always, that they're not necessarily doing good work in terms of cleaning up after themselves, making sure that any construction impact that they have for people's lawns. Right now within the city limits, I'm hearing some some concerns about that, and I'm trying to find out through the city of Bryan to be responsive to the residents of Precinct 4, what's happening. I did check with our Road and Bridges, and I'm very confident that Road and Bridges is working well out in the county, but apparently Comcast is not being a good vendor, or whatever you want to call them, in terms of how they're treating the citizens within the city limits. So if any of y'all know of anything that's happening and it's happening in your residential area, please let me know, because I'm trying to find out who I can talk to with the city of Bryan, because the contract workers are being somewhat dismissive to the residents, and that's concerning. But I am confident that Road and Bridges will make sure that that doesn't happen out in the county, per the discussion with our Road and Bridges director. So I'm just a little bit concerned.
Commissioner,
I thought I'd bring that up and put Comcast on blast, as the kids say.
Well, and Commissioner, I would say for those residents of Precinct 4 that are in the city limits of Bryan, they should talk to the Director of Public Works, that's Dr. Jason Barfinick.
Right, well, I know this is being discussed, but, you know, people think that the commissioners can do all things, and so I got a call of concern, and I'm very concerned because I had one of those fiber optic companies come through my neighborhood, but luckily they were very good. It was a different company than Comcast, and they cleaned up after themselves and even put down sod after they destroyed some lawns. So I was pretty good with them, but Comcast is apparently not being that kind of company with going through some of the neighborhoods in Precinct 4. So anyway, that doesn't have anything to do with this, but I wanted to put them on the record.
Well, Comcast just needs to know that Wanda is coming after you, so
That's right.
clean it up, people.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second, I think, on number 16. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 17 is request approval of amended plat for Texas Acres, plat of Aggie Acres subdivision lots 8A and 8B, addressing a request for variance from Brazos County subdivision regulations, Article 7, pertaining to building setbacks and drainage easements, sites located in Precinct 1.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 18 is request approval of final plat for Bertram Grove subdivision, Phase 1, 42.18 acres, Samuel Davison Survey, City of College Station, East TJ, Brazos County, Texas, sites located in Precinct 1.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is consider and take action of Comcast utility permit to install 6,269 feet of 2-inch fiber optic conduit by directional bore within the right-of-way of Mancuso Road, sites located in Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 20 is consider and take action on Frontier Utility Permit to directional bore 5,300 feet of fiber optic conduit within the right-of-way of Dick Elliott Road and abandon existing lines in place. Project is needed to accommodate proposed road improvement project, sites located in Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 21 is request approval of final plat of Cook Crossing Phase 2, 14.6 acres, Thomas J. Alcorn League, A-61, City of Bryan, ETJ, Brazos County, Texas, sites located in Precinct 2.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 22 is request approval of resubmittal of final plat of Fazino Park subdivision, 10.12 acres, lots 1 and 2, H. Mitchell Surveys, abstract 180, James Curtis Jr. League Survey, abstract 12, City of Bryan, ETJ, Brazos County, Texas, plats revised due to change in the number of proposed lots, sites located in Precinct 4.
Move approval?
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 23 is approval of treasurer's report for December 2025 and quarter ending December 31st, 2025.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded, and we've got Kathy Beans wants to speak on that.
I just have one question, and it's about the only number on that sheet that's in red. Why are we underwater on the grants? Do you know? We're negative $180,000 for spending in grant money?
Some of the grants are reimbursements after they're expended.
So you have to spend the money first and you get reimbursed for it.
So we're gonna cover all that.
Okay.
But great
Thank you,
question.
Christian.
I had that same concern, and I remember.
Okay, so we've got a motion and a second. Further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 24 is budget amendments, FY 25-26 budget amendments 12.01 through 12.09.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 25 is personnel change status.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 26, payment of claims.
Move for approval.
Second?
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. We will skip down to number 29 is an acknowledgement of Mental Health, Mental Retardation Authority, MHMR, of Brazos Valley Annual Financial Report, August 31st, 2025. Number 30 is an acknowledgement of the CY 2025 Racial Profiling Report for Brazos County Sheriff's Office. 31 is acknowledgement of the FY 2025-2026 budget to actuals by fund as of March the 2nd, 2026, and an acknowledgement of the FY 25-26 contingency budget to actuals by fund as of March the 2nd, 2026. Number 32 is the monthly report from the County Attorney's Office. And 33 is a monthly, Earl, come up.
Morning, everybody. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Don't have a whole lot. Just want to bring you up to speed as to the total dispositions in regards to all the misdemeanors in the county is 1,767. Understanding, as far as the first quarter, we still have, the rest of the month as well. Total collected fees, 82,075. That's all I had. Court have anything for me?
All right, thank you, Earl.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
And then number 33 is monthly report by the District Attorney's Office. Jarvis.
Morning. So I just want to talk about a couple of things. One, I want to talk about just the first thing we have is that our disposition rate, I looked at the numbers today for January and February, and so that's the total amount of cases we've taken in versus the total amount of cases that we've disposed, and that was called a performance measure. It's one of the unique things that the Office of Court Administration measures in Austin, but our disposition rate was at about 144%, which basically means that we're disposing of more cases, cutting into the backlog. So more cases that are going out that are coming in. Second, let's put a little bit of a face behind some of those numbers. Just talk about a couple of trials that we've had in January and February alone. Just a little bit, Randy Zerpak was one of our cases, a continuous sexual abuse case that was in February. The jury convicted the defendant and sentenced him to life in prison. Garrett Grant was an aggravated sexual assault of a child case that was in the 272nd District Court. The jury, a Brazos County jury, convicted him, and then the judge in the 272nd, Judge Brick, sentenced the defendant to 50 years in prison. Robert Johnson was an aggravated assault and domestic violence case where it was a threatening with a weapon. However, the defendant had a prior conviction for murder and came out and committed this crime. The judge gave the defendant, Judge Hilburn in that case, gave the defendant, looking at his history, 45 years in prison. And Tyrone Franklin was in the 272nd. That was a shooting of two people. One of them left one of the victims blind in her left eye. She was a young lady at the time. The defendant then had a defense of an alibi, but that was defeated, and the jury convicted the defendant and sentenced him to 50 years in prison because of the crime and his criminal history. So those are just some of the things that have been happening in the past 2 months at the district attorney's office, trials that we have been dealing with, as well as cases that we're disposing as well. So that on the backdrop of one of the things that we do that many people don't know about is that we also give training to new police officers. So at Teeks Academy, we have our prosecutors spend their time when they're not trying cases, disposing of cases in magistrate court. They are also, after their meeting with witnesses, they're also going to the police academy and teaching them search and seizure, arrest law, juvenile law, domestic violence, human trafficking. And so one of our individuals that does that on a regular basis is Brian Price. He is our intake chief, along with a ton of other prosecutors there. So they're working on that at the same time. And on the weekends, one of the things that we talked about, I know Commissioner Watson attended, was I want to talk to you about our DA in a Day program that we started in January of 2026. We had a packed house at the North Bryan Community Center. We had 53 people signed up. However, it was in the 20s that day, and so 45 showed up. So it was reasonable that some people may say, look, it's too cold to come out. But it was packed. We did so well that we are going to do it again and we're partnering with the city of College Station to do it at the College Station City Hall on June the 13th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., it's absolutely free. You can sign up in our office. You can call 361-4320, or you can email Jennifer Jansen, which is my office manager, at jjansen, that's Jansen, at brazoscountytx.gov. We had signed up for 50 spots. We did 50 spots the last time, and we were packed out, so we're increasing it to 75 spots. We're going to provide lunch, and you're going to get a chance to learn about the DA's office in a condensed and exciting way. So some of the evaluations, because we had people do evaluations the last time, was a couple of quotes: was excellent presentation, well thought out and presented with professionalism, outstanding. That was in all caps. I really like that one right there. Very informative, and presentation addressed community concerns. And then one of my favorites was very professional, high compassion, high skills, high result. And I thought that was important because the whole goal is to kind of show the community what exactly is happening, and they get a chance to ask questions. Some of the topics that we talked about last time was that we talked about how to keep your family safe from internet predators. We're going to talk about that again, but we're going to be adding in a couple of new things because it's going to change every time that we do it. We're going to take the citizens to what we call drug school. So they're going to get a chance to see and work with police officers who deal with narcotics all the time. What drugs are plaguing our communities right here in Brazos County. So they're going to get a chance to, I was going to say, touch, feel, and taste, but you can't taste the stuff. But you're going to get a chance to see what our grand jury sees and see the drugs that are here in Brazos County and what is being peddled to our kids. So that's going to be an excellent presentation. I've already talked with the officers about that. They're going to learn how do we deal with individuals with mental health diagnoses in the criminal justice system, because that's a huge topic of concern. We're going to talk about punishment, how it works. That's always a confusing topic because Texas is different than other areas. It's not just as simple as what you see on TV. So we're going to talk about that so that people have questions, they can ask that. And then one of my favorites is Ask the DA. So you can ask me at any point in time. People are going to be writing questions down, and we take rapid fire question and answer at the end of the day. So if you have questions about the programs that we have, if you have questions about cases that have gone through, if you have questions about punishment versus probation and what happened in this particular case as opposed to this particular case, we get a chance to answer those questions for the community. So that was a well-received part of our presentation. And so I just want to make sure that I wanted to, one, plug it to talk about what happened, but also say, look, we're going to bring it back and we're going to expand it because I think there's a lot of hunger for that information and a lot of transparency. So those are the things that are happening in the DA's office, not just in court, not just in magistrate where we're disposing of cases, not just with TEECs, with the police academies where we're training police officers, but also how we're letting the community in on what we do as prosecutors at both the district court level, but also some of the things that happened where we were kind of a microphone to the rest of the world. Interestingly enough, people heard about our last DA in a Day program, and we heard from the Texas Association of Counties, and so they asked us to input or nominate the program for one of the best practices in Texas. So we're going to see what happens with that, but I think even if it never wins, it was good intrinsically to just let the community know what we do in Brazos County. So if I have any questions.
You covered a lot, and those are amazing things, all of them. But again, the dispensation rate of 144% is fantastic. You know, right to a speedy trial in America. So, love to see that backlog shrinking. And I would just say keep the pedal down on that. Great job.
Will do. Thank you.
Again, I just want to plug what he just said. I mean, citizens, as an elected official, don't always understand how different offices work. And I think this sort of mini one-day session was so great to dispel the myths of perceived how the DA works. I would suspect it would be the same thing with the Sheriff's Academy or any of those academies, because people have a perceived idea, and it is not always good. The DA knows he's up, particularly with my constituents, how the community perceives the DA's office. And I thought it was a wonderful. I watched the audience and how they engage with your staff, and so thank you for doing that. I appreciate you and Ann Boney putting that together, and I'm glad that you're taking it on the road, and College Station now wants the opportunity to do the same thing.
Awesome.
So thank you for what you do.
Thank y'all.
Jarvis, I gotta say, to compliment you, I think you're smooth as a gravy sandwich.
I think that's
Great
good.
presentation.
I think that's good. And I think you're not just talking about my hair. I think that you are. I think that's a compliment.
It is a compliment, very much so.
All right.
Hair?
Yeah. I mean, proverbial hair. All right.
Thank you, Jarvis. Next is announcement of interest items and possible future agenda topics.
Judge, the community lost Brandy Norris recently. Brandy was over 20 years with College Station Police Department. In 21, she was the first female peace officer to serve as chief of enforcement in TABC over the 85-year agency history. She was also the first woman to oversee the day-to-day operations of a statewide police force in Texas. Commissioner Nettles knew her well, respected her and loved her, as with all the people she worked with. And outside of that, she was a kind, professional, and gracious human being. She'll be greatly missed. She was a great example for a lot of the officers and a lot of our law enforcement community. And just rest in peace and best wishes to her family.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Any other announcement?
Yes, sir. Judge, I'd like to request that we put the issue of ESD 3 on the agenda for our next meeting. ESD 3 has bought 6 acres. They're in contract for 6 acres across the street from their firehouse right now. And the way the property is, the property belongs to a doctor, and there's a long driveway. It's going to look like a flagpole because his property is going to be at the back of the total property. And then there's a long driveway. And the doctor has said, I'll give a 30-foot right-of-way. Well, from what I understand, Road and Bridge is asking for a 100-foot right-of-way. So I'd like for us to be able to discuss this in our next meeting, get this issue taken care of so that they can go ahead and close on the property and start on the construction.
Okay. Any other comment?
No,
Okay, I want to introduce Andrew Whipke. Andrew is the Deputy General Counsel, was just hired, came in. He's spent 11 years with 3 different counties, I think Galveston County, Fort Bend County, and Lubbock County. Is that correct? Come on up.
Good morning. Close. I'm not Galveston, but I'm Wichita County, and then Lubbock County, and then Fort Bend County.
Okay. All right.
And happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
All right. We will move back up to number 27 and convene an executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.0761 for deliberation regarding critical infrastructure facility. Do you have a list of, I don't have a list of, who was it? I wasn't, you got it? Okay, so we need, of course, the court, Aubrey, Ed, Andrew, Eric Caldwell, Kevin Joyner, and Nina. And the time is 11:09.
Is that a, oh, it was pretty. No, no, 360.
360.
Yeah. It was sure pretty.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're coming out of executive session. It is 11:23. There's no action to be taken. Next item is to adjourn. Thank you.